All right, this is it.
This is the big show.
Yeah, after all the times of saying we were going to do this, episode 1 of the Sheer and Utter Nonsense podcast.
I think we're the first people to ever make a podcast.
I mean, I know 0 people who make one, so...
This is going to be big.
Well, it'll be big to my parents, I hope. 19 years of school, and then this is the culmination of what that all came to.
How many thousands of dollars have resulted in this?
We're not going to talk about that. Da 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 da. Are you allowed to sing, or is that copyright? I don't know.
You can do up to like 3 seconds, I think.
That was like a second and a half.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm Cody, and this is Huntario. He is the Italian exchange student.
My accent dissolved immediately once I got here.
Well, for anybody of the 3 of you that ever listen to this, this is going to be a podcast about literally whatever we want to talk about that day. It's going to be completely unedited unless we just say something that's really bad we can't put on there because we're keeping this PG-13. And, it's just going to be about this, that, and the other. So
if it's PG-13, we get 1 F word. That's the way it goes.
Listen here, Deadpool. We're going to strike that one out. All right, first episode. We'll fix that in post. It's okay.
I didn't say it.
Hunter, how are you?
I am well, all things considered. How are you?
I'm okay. I can walk on both my feet. My legs don't hurt. There is no metal in my body.
Oh, it must be nice, So, my name's Hunter. And most recently in my life, I decided that it was a good idea to go out in the ice storms that came through. What is it? I mean, it was the mid to west, the southern regions, I guess, is where it hit worse. So, like, we or maybe I don't know. Anyway, we had the ice storm, and I went out. I was being careful. I wasn't being stupid. I was being careful. I actually had my phone in my car. I was going to charge it because we were losing power on and off, and I thought if there's an emergency, I should have my phone charged. And so I had it in my car charging, and I went out to get it. I was being careful. I was walking. I was not running. I slipped off the sidewalk, fell 6 inches, and did a trimalleolar fracture in my leg, which is all the bones in my leg just broke.
Why go for 1 or 2 or
I know.
However many there are in your leg? Just break them all.
People in the ER were like, this is a car accident level break. How did you do this? And I was like, I fell 6 inches. And they were like, you have to come up with a better story. But I kind of think it's funnier just to be that mundane of a fall and just have shattered. I feel like that guy from SpongeBob. Every morning I break my arms, and every night I break my legs.
Glass bones and picker skin.
Yeah. So I'm a week out of surgery. Everything's going great. It's weird. I haven't counted yet. The doctor didn't even know how many screws he put in me. He said, you can count. There's so many, I don't know. So I have...
Pretty sure that's not right.
It is what it is, He put them in and he put them in right. I don't care how many. So he put in 2 stainless steel plates and a ton of screws. And so I've got 11 more weeks of absolutely no weight on it at all. And I'm in good spirits about it. But it's weird seeing your leg all cut up and seeing pictures of inside your body with giant metal plates that you have to now look at and know that that's just inside you now. So it's been an experience. I'm sure we'll talk about the leg more than once on the podcast, but the long story short is I fell off a sidewalk. Fell 6 inches and got one of the worst possible breaks you can get in your leg. So,
all right. So, are you ready for my hypothesis of what is actually happening?
Yes.
So the doctor said, "Oh, you twisted your leg as you fell." What I think is that your significant other there is actually poisoning you. She is robbing all the calcium from your diet. And she is trying to basically pull a misery situation with you. So
That's
you can
gotta
finish,
be what's going on.
so you can finish the book series she loves so much.
That's gotta be it, It's gotta be it. My fiance is just sticking needles in me at night and just like pulling out blood and separating I don't even know. I guess calcium's in your blood. I'm an engineer. I don't know. I don't know about the body, but she does. She works at the hospital. But so the point is, she knows how to get it out of me. So I guess that might be what's going on. She's just siphoning out my calcium and my life force. She's taking it.
I have no proof and I have no way to obtain it, but that's the story that I'm going with until proven otherwise.
Oh well, we'll just accuse the woman I'm going to marry.
I mean, it's low hanging fruit,
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm not going to blame her, who am I going to blame?
Yeah.
Me for not being able to walk? No.
What kind of silly statement was that? You can't blame yourself.
I do nothing wrong.
What a great start. This was such a good idea. I'm glad we're doing this.
You guys don't know how long we've talked about doing this. There's been years of us saying we should just do a podcast. And then push came to shove and we were like, hey, let's do it.
No. Here's what happened. We got out of school.
That's it. We got out of school.
We got out of the thing that was holding us back in life.
We got out of school. All of our free time came back and we said, I can show you the world. And here we are.
Yeah, so many stories. I'd say we've probably been talking about doing this since, 2018?
Oh, at least.
I mean, I guess it was when we first started grad school. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was when we first mentioned it after you and me were the only two left of the crew.
Yeah, we were the sole survivors. Everybody else got while the getting was good, and we were like, please, sir, can I have some more?
Please, sir, I don't like sleep.
I love my stress level to be elevated all the time.
Well, speaking of school, Hunter, why don't you tell us what you do and your hopes and dreams and hobbies and all the fun stuff about you.
Okay, cool. So I'll start with school. I guess, are we going to tell the university? I don't know what privacy levels you're looking for, but I don't care.
It'll come out, but I don't care. We're not going to talk bad about them.
No, well, leave that to me.
We'll say university.
Yeah. So we went to the same university Cody and I did. I graduated high school in 2014 and then started at university. I did my undergraduate in manufacturing engineering and I got a minor in business with it. It was a fun 4 years. And then I got offered an opportunity to stay and get my master's degree and do, what's called an assistantship. I had a hiccup.
It's okay.
Do what's called an assistantship. And so you did one too, but basically they pay for your master's degree and they give you a stipend so that you don't starve to death or live under a bridge. And it's just enough to make sure you don't do that. but they give you a stipend monthly and they pay for your degree and you work on campus somewhere. And most people, I don't want to step on your story or your toes, most people work for professors. But I was given the opportunity to be in charge of our creative entrepreneurship space called the Makerspace. And up there, I had been a student who had been participating in the activities and services of the Makerspace for a good amount of time, pretty much since it opened. I think it opened our sophomore year. And so I'd been up there and participating and got in really close, made friends with the current graduate assistant. And when he graduated, it was my senior year. And through the relationships that I'd forged, me and another student actually split the job of the management role our senior year of undergrad. And so with that in my back pocket, they said, hey, we'd like you to stay. We want you to do the management job by yourself for 2 more years, get your master's, and we'll pay for it and we'll pay you. And so I stayed on. I transferred to the mechanical engineering department. And if anybody did their undergrad in ME, you now hate me because I jumped into a mechanical master's degree without going through a mechanical undergrad program. I did a manufacturing program and then jumped across the aisle and got a master's in mechanical without doing calculus 2 and 3.
Still not sure how that happened.
Well, it was a miracle. But the point is, I've got it. I've got the piece of paper, so nobody can question me. Just don't ask me calculus questions.
You can question me, just not about anything that I've done.
Exactly. So I did that for 2 years. During that 2 years of getting my master's and working in the makerspace, running it, I met a lovely lady named Bree, and we quickly got engaged after about a year. And now I've graduated, and we graduated amongst all the COVID craziness. Like, I was in school finishing up, getting ready to put the final touches on my thesis and research as the pandemic started. And so we were at the front end of that where, everything started shutting down. Nobody knew what was going on. Like, I had 20 students that I was directly over in terms of the chain of command. And I had to tell them a different story every day at the start of the pandemic because nobody knew what was going on. We were going to stay in school, or no, we weren't. And this is something we could talk about in great depth, but it was chaos. And so I finished out with my thesis and graduated right as COVID took a grip on our country, and managed to land a job in the town that our school is in. I really wanted to stay here. I fell in love with it over the course of being here in school. Plus, she's here and her mom's here, so it really helps that we stay local. So I landed a job, and I'm an automation engineer. And I'm specifically a designer of machinery. Excuse me. So the company I work for, I'm not going to drop their name, but we design automation equipment for industrial applications. And so what that basically means is companies will come to us and they will say, I have this doodad that needs this part put on it and this part put on it and whatever. Like, we need this manufacturing application designed and developed and automated. And then we take that information and we completely custom build them a machine that will do that and meet their specs. So every day is a different adventure. And up to now, I've worked on machines that make parts for the 2022 Silverado, parts for WD-40 cans, parts. There's a machine that I've done a little bit of work on that's a home COVID test. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that we're doing, and I can't get into a ton of detail, but the point is, it's a different story every day, and I freaking love it. It is so fun, and I'm really excited. I have to work from home right now because of my shattered leg, but they've been really great to let me work from home, and all my applications are designed. So I do get to work out on the floor a little bit. Like, I can go out and run some of the equipment, and I get to go out build some of the things that I've designed, but for the most part, I'm computer design only, with some hands-on applications. But I'm loving it, and I'm super happy with it. I guess the only thing that remains of the list that you said I should go over is my dreams and aspirations. And we'll talk about this a good amount. I'm a huge Transformers fan, like absolutely huge. And when I say Transformers fan, not the movies. I like the other stuff, like the original stuff from the 80s, even though I wasn't alive then. I'm a huge Transformers fan, and it's always been my dream. Now, I'd have to move to Rhode Island to do it, but I want to be a designer for Transformers action figures at some point in my life. And I don't know when that's going to happen, But at one point, I think that would be a fun end game of a job, is to be able to design Transformers action figures with Hasbro and Takara. So I know that sounds a little silly, going from machines that make stuff for COVID relief to Optimus Prime, but it just seems like a fun job, and that's really what I want to do.
You want to go ahead and give us a sound bite, since you're the best impersonator I know?
What do you want to hear? Because I can do everything.
Just do your favorite, whatever tickles your innards.
Any Transformer ever?
Yeah, whatever you like.
Okay. Now the good news is the impressions will not stop here. We go for presidents, accents. Impressions go a long way with me. So.
And we do both sides, so don't anybody get offended. We're equal opportunists when it comes to making fun of people.
There's nobody that I don't make fun of. I voted for certain people and make fun of them. I didn't vote for other people and I still make fun of them. So it comes with the territory. I'll do Starscream.
That's a good one.
Let me clear my throat because I've got a little bit of a frog in it.
Megatron, this is Starscream, your loyal second in command.
And I feel like I'm about to turn into a jet ski right now.
Mm-hmm. He's an F-15, one of the best military aircraft of all time.
Well, I mean, that's a cool aspiration. I mean, that's one of those things that you end up doing, and you could look back and be like, "Ha, told y'all I was going to do that."
Aha! Eat that, Dad!
I mean, you'll basically be Geppetto at that point.
I'll bring life to toys. It'll be like small soldiers, but worse. I'll give them live ammunition.
Builds a 1 foot tall transformer that actually shoots weapons.
I taught him how to hate.
It's the only emotion he knows.
Where is the cube? I don't know what you're talking about.
What's a cube?
Oh man, so that's me. That's it.
That's that's a pretty good description of how life went. Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat there. Only difference was I got my undergrad in mechanical engineering.
Weak.
Listen, you hear the phrase blood, sweat, and tears, and this is one of those where there were literally copious amounts of blood, sweat, and tears that went through this, between the projects and the not doing great on everything and the hours that you don't sleep, and not a fun time, but it's one of those character building things. But I went through that, and then made a good group of friends, and then whenever we graduated, I was the one that I guess got the short end of the stick and didn't find a job before I graduated, so I got a great offer from a really good professor to come back and study with him for my master's, and me and Hunter there essentially started at the exact same time. So I did all my research with him. I got a good opportunity to have a teaching assistantship there, so I taught labs and was kind of a mentor for my first year of the senior design course for the undergrads, and then the second year I was doing the measurements lab, so I got to spend a lot of time with some of the sophomores and juniors and kind of coach them in the things to do and things not to do, and don't make the same mistakes that we did going through school. And I got a cool internship. I was at Oak Ridge National Lab for essentially a year. It was supposed to be just a summer, but they extended me on, and that kind of pushed me back. Hunter was able to graduate a few months before I was. It took me an extra summer, but yeah, went through and finally finished research, and I'm sure every grad student feels like it would never get done, and it finally did, and that was right as coronavirus was hitting, and I said it once and I'll say it till the day I die, that this year was probably the best time in history to ever be defending a thesis, because we were all home for our essentially entire spring semester before we graduated. So
I totally forgot about that. I did I did my thesis defense in my apartment on like Zoom, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. I was down here. I was sitting on the couch, and I had on a button up. I had on my suit jacket, and I had on a pair of lounge pants and house shoes on with it all. So bow tie and house shoes. Not too many places you have that combination on, but yeah, defended that, and then that was in early July, and me and my wife, we got married in February. Whole story with that, but we had our actual wedding ceremony in towards the middle of July. So I graduated, or I defended my thesis in July, the beginning, got married, and then officially graduated, I guess, in August. And then, as I said, the greatest time ever to defend your thesis, but is also the worst time ever to try to find a job after you defended your thesis, because, man, nobody was hiring and everybody needed a job. And, when you're fresh out of college, there's a whole lot more qualified people than you out there. So I searched and searched and searched and searched, and I think I used Indeed for all it was worth trying to find a job, and went through savings, just did odd jobs for this and that, and then family connection. I was able to get a part-time job in November doing some CAD engineering. Work at a local trailer manufacturer here in my hometown, which, I mean, honestly, this type of role was probably one of the only 5 jobs like that in my entire county. It was a God thing that I was able to get that job, but did that part-time for, I don't know, probably 6 weeks there, and then they brought me in and decided they wanted to bring me on full-time. So I'm a design engineer, but I do a little bit of everything there. So small company, I get to learn a whole lot and do all sorts of stuff there. It's I do a lot of CAD work. I do a lot of inventory counting. I go and make sure that if there's any issues in any of the manufacturing plants, that they get taken care of. And essentially, I just try to make the guys who are building the trailers, I try to make their life easier, and I try to make my boss's life easier. So I guess I'm just the peacekeeper. That's the title I'm gonna put on my resume. But yeah, that's kind of my job. If I had my dreams and hopes and aspirations, I'm not really sure right now. I really, really, really tried to get in full time there at ORNL, and ultimately that didn't end up happening. But I'm happy where I'm at right now. I married, and then my wife has a job, and the cool thing about it is my job is super, super close to my house, so I'm able to come home for lunch every day. So it's hard to beat that right now. But yeah, that's that's my thing. I'm glad that glad that I have a job. I'll say that it was it was a very stressful, very, very stressful 4 or 5 months there, trying to apply for this is no exaggeration. I probably applied for 250 jobs everywhere from Morristown, Tennessee, all the way to almost Nashville. Like, I was all over the place trying to find jobs, and everybody wants them, man, and there's always going to be someone more qualified. So, but I'm in a good place. I'm happy where I'm at. Finally getting to do this podcast, man. So it's obviously we're doing okay if we can cut jokes and try to make everybody laugh right now. So yeah, I'm sorry I don't have the cool aspirations like you do.
Ah, well, one of these days.
I can't do any cool impersonations like that. I mean, I try and I sound like it in my head, but then when I hear like myself, I don't sound like it at all.
We'll coach you. You're coachable.
I mean, no, but I do my best. That's kind of been my way of doing things all throughout my life. When I went through school, I did my best. I studied hard, and that usually didn't mean anything at all. But I was able to,
I'm
get
just trying. That's all.
through. That's how I felt sometimes, man. Trying to get through school and try to. I'm the world's worst for having FOMO. I'm always afraid that something fun is going to happen and I'm not there. So that was probably my biggest downfall in college, because you go and study until 8:30 at night. Well, you all have been there. Your group's been there since 3:00. So 8:30 or whatever is whenever everybody wants to go do something. And it's like, well, I have a class at 9 in the morning. Well, who cares? So,
Yeah.
so that was probably part of the problem. But yeah, man, I always had that FOMO problem. I hated just being home by myself, and just kind of got wore thin there trying to maintain the balance. I think that's probably one of the hardest parts of college is studying, doing well, but still keeping that social life, but doing it all balanced. It took me definitely a while to kind of hone in on that right balance. You'd think after 19 years of school I'd have it down, but nobody's perfect, as the wise Hannah Montana once said.
She is. You know what? She's one of my favorite prophets.
But yeah, dude, that's my life in a nutshell. Dude, we're pretty boring. I just realized that. We had the cliche, go to engineering school, and we don't really do anything fun.
Well, that's not true. I break my leg on things.
Well, you have a cool story. I don't want to have that cool of a story.
Come on, it's easy. I'll teach you how. We can get all slipped up on your sidewalk, and we'll just go for a ride.
I'll just get on the retaining wall and just jump off on my car, see what happens.
There you go.
Hunter broke his leg. I'm going to break both of mine.
One up.
Your turn. Ball's in your court. Oh, yeah. So that's kind of who we are. We were talking about how I know I'm talking like there's a third person here. We're trying to make this conversational, but we're talking about kind of figure out how we had met for all this stuff, and we come to find out that we really don't remember how we met too much. That's kind of,
which isn't it how all the best friendships start out? It's like there's no like one moment. It's just like all of a sudden, oh hey, this person is in my life, and I don't really remember the inciting incident, but yeah. So.
Hunter, I had 4 of you in my wedding. You were all my groomsmen, and I honestly, and I mean this with straight sincerity, I could not tell you where I met a single one of you all. I have absolutely no clue where you all came from.
Well, no, it's actually because all 4 of us got together, and you're actually a simulation, and we just popped you in one day, and
I thought I phased through a wall today, but I wasn't quite sure.
As far as you knew, you've known us your whole life, but you were gestated on October the 7th. I'm just kidding.
I feel like this is kind of like that Rick and Morty episode where they keep adding in story characters that have to figure out who's not really there. Yeah. Oh, you don't remember all the times that we were here with Moosehead?
Oh man! But to be fair, most of the time I can't remember what I have for breakfast. So.
Yeah. I've just, it's so weird because I usually have really good like distant memories. I can remember things from like when I was in middle school and elementary school, and I guess those just memorable things. But man, my short-term memory is absolutely garbage, as the French say. I cannot remember absolutely anything unless I write it down.
That's just a side effect of grad school, I think.
Yeah, I think that's just a side effect of college. We have to learn stuff for 3 weeks for a test, and then it's like, well, bye.
Yeah, see you later. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
It's the most useful thing we learned in high school.
Not how to do taxes.
Yeah, I've decided that I'm just gonna fork up the $50 and just get someone to do them for me. I don't have the courage to do them myself, and then get settled down in 5 or 6 years wherever we're gonna be at permanently, and then be like, surprise! Here you owe the IRS $20,000. It's like, what? For what? Oh, for that grad school stipend you didn't report right. It's like, what?
Wait a minute. Can I phone a friend?
I saw a pretty good video the other day. It's like had someone talking to the IRS. It's like, well, can you tell me how much I owe? No. Well, do you know how much I owe? Yeah. Well, why won't you tell me? Because. It's like, if you know what I owe, just tell me. If you're going to give me money back, just tell me. Man, taxes and stuff like this is hard. You know what? Since I've been married and since I've got this job, I've been in my job for a few weeks now, and I'm just now learning how to do insurance and how to use insurance. I literally logged on the other night to our insurance website and was trying to read and understand everything on there. Hunter, I looked at the clock, and I had been looking on this website for 4.5 hours trying to understand what was going on and what this stuff was. Because you can't just search the terminology, because then you get 50,000 other unrelated questions or web pages if you're just on Google. Man, this stuff it shouldn't be this hard. Like, I feel my best asset is my mind. I'm 5'10". I can't run very fast and I can't jump very high, but I've had a whole lot of school. But man, insurance has just whipped my butt in these past months. I don't know why it's so hard. Why can't you just tell me right off the bat, here's how much you have to pay? And that's something else with it. If I'm paying you, why do I have to pay anything? It's like, this just seems backwards. It's like me going to the restaurant, paying for food, and then them eating half of it. That's what it feels like.
Excuse me, the chef is going to sit down with you just to take a quick little nibble. He's got he skipped out on lunch today. So
yeah, if you want to understand a deductible, basically think about it. You have to go to the restaurant 10 times and buy the same thing, and the chef gets half of it before he only starts taking 20% of it. That's essentially how deductibles and co-insurance work. Like, it's wild, man. It has been super confusing, and I feel silly on here talking about it, but I guess that's what this is gonna become. But
well, I tell you what, once you master insurance, which with time it'll come, you'll get the hang of it. It's confusing to me too, but over time I think I'll figure it out. But after you master insurance, then you get to move on to the boss battle, and that's the stock market.
Oh no, I'm once again gonna have someone do that for me. I have money a little bit that I dabble in. I use just some. I like to try to find penny stocks. That's my thing. I like to find those little stocks that, well, this could either blow up and you make some money, or it could completely just dissolve and, well, you've lost $6 because they were 2 cents a share. That's what I like to do with my money. I don't have the courage to do anything else. Like, did you see the GameStop stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The stock market's really not that hard anymore. All you got to do is join a subreddit.
Yeah,
and then you become rich.
Like, I kid you not, I didn't have the money to put into anything like that, and I was kind of late to the game on that subreddit. But man, I saw pictures after the fact of people that in like a 7-day time span, they jumped in when this was like being talked about. They bought it when it was just super, super cheap, and people were literally like doubling their portfolios, and people were like paying off their student loans and paying their kids' college, all because people on Reddit were trying to basically make a meme out of hedge funds, and it's incredible. It's incredible.
I got 15 cents for a game that costs $60 at a GameStop, and these people are paying off their student loans by playing the stock market. I feel ripped off.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't feel any kind of bad feeling at all for GameStop. You know, I did get a used Xbox there, but yeah, it's the same situation that everybody's in there. It's like, oh, this game came out last week. I'll give you 3 pieces of dirt for it.
Are they clumps of dirt? No.
No, it's individual dirts. I don't. Here's 3 dirt.
Sounds like we're playing Settlers of Catan.
One of those things. Oh, what nonsense that is.
Oh man, I don't know. I find it funny. Oh, I find it funny.
But yeah, I did not make it big and rich from GameStop. And it's so funny though right now because obviously the stock plummeted and people were like, just hang on to it, it's going to the moon. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it is, but of course I had to jump in and buy just a little bit of it, but I'm just gonna keep it right now because it's, you know, I don't have a whole lot in it. But man, if it does shoot back up once they get all those stocks shorted, I'm talking like I know what that means at all. It's just what I've read. But
this is the word of the day.
Word of the day, shorting.
I watched Wolf of Wall Street. I understand.
We're not going anywhere.
I see. I don't invest. I just put money in a mattress.
I mean, you put it there, then nobody's going to get it except me now because I know where you keep it.
No, there's a greasy guy who comes by every few days and he pays me interest to keep the money in the mattress. I don't know. I mean, he keeps bringing me bags of cash. I don't think it's illegal.
I mean, random guy coming in and giving you money. I'm pretty sure that might be illegal in some states.
He keeps asking me about washing his clothes, and I'm like, dude, I'm just holding on to your money. Why are you asking me about laundry?
Yeah, if we ever slip up and well, I don't even know if it's important if we don't tell where we went to school at, but I don't want it. I think as long as we change names, it'd be okay. But there's I'll say this, in our college town, I would say that there is at least 2 businesses that I am like 78% sure are just laundering fronts.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's one that's been there. I kid you not. I was in this town for a whole lot of years, and I am so sure that I have never seen a vehicle in the parking lot of this business anytime during business hours. They were there like once a week, and it was at like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm pretty sure this place was just a front.
Oh, can I have a hint? I know you can't say it out loud, but I really want to know now.
Well, it's burgers that are little. Say that.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
Some people at my work were talking about that place and how it was for sale.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, somebody's getting out of the laundry business.
I mean, that's all I can think about. It was never a car there. I mean, and I was there for a whole lot of years, and I'm pretty sure that was one of them.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I mean, it doesn't gotta be, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
There are literally no other options of what could have been going on right in that situation. Oh, so Hunter, tell us about your dog.
Oh, so I have a full-blooded Siberian Husky. His full name is Indiana Gray, but we call him Gray for short. I don't know if you guys know anything about the coloration of Huskies, but he's a sable-colored Husky. which means he is at various times different levels of black, gray, and brown. So he changes colors with the seasons. He's like a chameleon. But
It's like a tree.
sometimes he is. Sometimes he's darker, and sometimes he's lighter, and sometimes he's more brown. It just depends. I don't know. But he's a super funny little guy. He's almost 2 years old. He was born on 4/21, which is hilarious. I'm pretty sure that's Adolf Hitler's birthday.
Coincidence?
Which is funny because sometimes it looks like he's got a little black mustache on his face. And, oh no, April 20th was Hitler's birthday. So he's born the day after. So we're good. We're clear.
Dr. Bull there.
Yeah, I was worried that he was sharing a birthday with that horrible, horrible man, but anyway, so yeah, he was born on 4/21, and so he's almost 2 years old, and he is an absolute nuisance. I've never experienced, and I've watched videos of other Huskies. I've never experienced a dog that's had so much personality and emotion. Like, he can just look at you and you know exactly what he's thinking. And he's not the most vocal, like you see the videos of them on Facebook and YouTube going like, I love you. He doesn't really talk that much unless he gets really, really worked up. But he's super funny. He loves to destroy tissues, dryer lint, cardboard, and paper towels. He loves all those things, and he'll get them and he'll just rip them to shreds, and then that's it.
I want you to know that, one, your dog isn't special, because my dog is absolutely obsessed with tissue paper and with napkins, and he'll get them, and I'm sure Gray's the same way. He doesn't try to eat them. He just likes to shred them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's a clean shred. I come into my little office space and there's tissue everywhere. And I'm like, my dog is a cockapoo. He's like 14 pounds and super tiny. I'm like, how did you get tissue paper on the desk? Like, it's everywhere, man. It's just a dog thing. Yeah, my dog's name is Luno, though, but he has this thing where whenever he has something, he always tries to run to like the opposite corner of the room from where you're at, whether it be something off the table, a stick, a fork, whatever he can find. He just has to have something. And when you walk toward him, he knows he's not supposed to have it. He lays on it. And it is the funniest thing because it's like, I literally just saw you. Like, my dog is a literal toddler. He tries to hide it. And then whenever you get it, Lou, no. He does this thing where he like tilts his head down and looks up at you. He's like, I know you can't yell at me when I'm like this.
Gray will do something similar. Now, he's not a big husky. I think he was the runt of the litter. He was really sick when he was a puppy. He had pretty bad, not heartworms. He had some sort of parasite in his gastrointestinal tract that we could not get rid of when he was a puppy. And finally he got over him. But he's pretty small. He's only 50 pounds. He's really skinny. And he's not a big husky, but he's not a small dog. Like, 50 pounds is still a pretty decent size for a dog.
That'll knock you down.
He'll get something. And we're like, Gray, you're not supposed to have that. And he puts his head down real low like that. And he's got these big radar dish ears that he folds back along the back of his head. And he goes and he squeezes a big fat body behind the couch. Like, like, I'm going to go back here and you're not going to get it.
Neener, neener, neener.
So what I've started doing is I've started pushing one end of the couch all the way up against the wall, and then I just pull the other end out, so he's like pinned in. It's like a big funnel, and I just walk in there and grab him. I'm like, you're not allowed to hide from me, like. So,
but Dad, this is my favorite tissue.
I found it and it is mine.
I mean, I know it was in the trash, but finders keepers. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Every dog that, like, when I give them a voice, I give them that personification, they either have that, oh, hey, buddy, that sound, or it's like Scandinavian. One of the two. That's every dog is either Scandinavian or they're just Buddy from down the street, There's no in between.
Well, we're pretty sure that if Gray could talk, that he would sound like Chris Chan, the internet personality.
Yeah.
You talk like this. My name's Gray, and I'm here. I'm gonna eat some tissue paper. we're pretty sure because when he gets excited, his voice gets all high pitched like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just sounds like Chris Chan to me. And some of the things he does seem very Chris Chan like, and so I'm like, all right,
like crawling behind the couch and
yeah, like crawling behind the couch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Luno, if he could talk, he'd be like, "Hello, Dad. What doing right now?" Like he has one of those accents. I don't know why, but ever since we first got him, that's just the sound that we have all embodied, that he would definitely sound that way. Our whole family. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and the funniest thing about Luno though is whenever he gets with my sister's dogs. Luno, when we first got him, he was like 3.5 pounds. Okay, he was 8 weeks old or something like that. He could fit in your palm. My sister has a Yorkie who is like 3.5 or 4 pounds. Like he's little. So when they first met, they were like the same size. Well, Luno has since forgotten that they are not the same size because Luno's literally like 5 of him now. So he goes to play with him, and he absolutely loves Toby. But Toby's an old dog. He's not a puppy at all. And all Luno wants to do is just like snap at him and then run backwards when Toby comes toward him. But what he'll do is if they like grab onto the same toy, he just flings him across the floor. Yeah, he has no sense of, oh yeah, I could eat you right now. Like that's how much bigger I am. Yeah, and we're pretty sure Luno is part rabbit at least. We're pretty sure he's like part 7 different things. But man, when he jumps, his legs just fling out, and he, like I said, he's 14 pounds. He's like 8 inches tall, but he can literally jump higher than my hip. Like he can jump way in the air, and he just gets so excited around Toby. It's absolutely ridiculous. But don't let him around a big dog. We found that out. He hates big dogs. Don't know why. He's just a bully, I guess.
Well, you got to pick on anything that's bigger than him.
Yeah, so like my dad has a dog that's part lab, part Australian Shepherd, and Luno, like when we take him outside with him, my dad's dog's name is Charlie. Luno like runs at him like he's gonna do something. I'm like, Luno, he is 4 times your size. Like, what are you doing?
Gray is like, I mean, he's never met a human, a dog, a bird, a duck. He's never met anything that's not his best friend instantaneously. But he's really good with the little dogs, actually. I was worried that he'd be too rough with like puppies and stuff, but he's actually been really, really gentle, and he's pretty mindful about a dog if it's smaller than him. There's not a lot of dogs that are bigger than him, but if we do find one that's bigger than him, he really doesn't freak out about him being bigger. Now, there was, in our complex, there's a lady who has a dachshund, and this dachshund is old and angry at the world.
Yeah.
And this dachshund tried to kill Gray, basically, just like ran at him and rah, 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 and Gray was like, "Oh boy, let's play!" Like he just has no social cues.
I love you, best friend.
Just no social cues at all. Absolutely thought this dog was like there to just be his best friend, and I'm like, I'm standing far away, and I could tell. I'm like, uh-oh, this dog's going to try to kill Gray, but Gray just thought that it was the time of his life. He was like, "Oh yeah, let's play."
I have missed you so much.
we've said over and over and over again that Gray would not survive without us. Like if you were to take him back to his ancestral grounds and turn him loose in I guess Siberia or whatever where he's from, he would die. he would not make it. He just does not possess the survival skills.
Hello,
to
Mr.
exist.
Bear. How are you today?
Dead.
You want to be my best friend?
So we're very much his caretakers. We make sure that he doesn't hurt himself.
So basically, he's a toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have established that Luno is. Like, if he was a child right now, he'd probably be like 2.5. He's just getting into everything, and he gets pouty whenever he doesn't get his way. So we're convinced that human equivalency, Luno is probably 2.5.
That's probably about right.
Just big enough to get into the trash and get into stuff that they don't need.
For sure. For sure.
And I say that like I've ever had a toddler. I haven't, but that's how I imagine it is with toddlers. Well, Hunter, would you believe me if I told you we've been on here for 52 minutes?
Oh, wow. The counter is going up there. I actually clicked off of it to a different window, but yeah, time flies.
You sitting there playing games right now?
Yeah, I'm sitting here playing Fortnite. I'm just kidding.
And I only say that
we are an Overwatch household.
I only say that because I am absolutely atrocious at any kind of shooter game. I think that my problem is that I get too distracted by everything else on the screen. Like, I love to watch games being played, but anytime I've ever jumped into, anything as cartoony as Fortnite or any of the Call of Duties or anything like that, I am absolutely terrible. Like, when you see the memes, it's like the superstar, the clutch one, the one that just weighs the team down. That's me.
Yeah.
Like, people invite me to play just because we're friends. Like, they're not expecting me to contribute at all whenever we play. Now, like sports games, 2K or Madden, anything like that, I'll spank you and take your lunch money. But man, shooter games, terrible, absolutely terrible.
We just got hooked on the new Call of Duty Cold War. They put it on sale, and they've got zombies. And I haven't played a Call of Duty in years. Well, I take that back. We did a flashback and played the original Black Ops for the original zombies. Well, not the original zombies, but the best one. And we got Cold War, and I got it on the PC, and this zombies now is like you have a whole open world, and you can do all sorts of stuff and explore this whole world before you even do like a main mission. Oh. Like, as you walk around, zombies will like spawn in or get alerted to your presence and like swarm you as you wander around. So it's kind of like you land and you get to like explore and prep as much as you want while still fighting some zombies every now and then. And there are bosses all over the place too. But then like the main mission, you have to go and trigger it to start. So it's crazy. It's a totally different experience than what I was expecting. And I thought it was pretty fun.
So it's basically The Walking Dead.
Well, no, see, so I guess it could be The Walking Dead if they didn't ruin that show.
I was just trying to trigger you. Continue.
They ruined it. They made it so bad.
I knew your feelings about the show. That's why I said that.
Ugh. I used to sit down every night that it was on. I guess they used to air them on Sunday nights. I'd sit down, the whole family would sit down in front of the television and watch the episode like we were in the 1950s. And then all of a sudden, it just took a downturn, and I just couldn't stand to watch it anymore because it was like the whole episode was nothing. And then at the very end, they're like, oh, look what's happening. Tune back in next week. And then nothing would happen. It's just so annoying. Oh, it makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I was really invested in it. And then it's like, it got formulaic, like it became less about let's tell a good story and more about let's string this sucker out for as long as we can and make as much money as we can. And, I kind of hate because it just takes away all the artistic integrity,
Yeah, I I started out. I was late to the game with it, but I kind of like that because I would rather binge a show, if it's on Netflix or something or Hulu, than try to watch it 1 week at a time. I have no patience for anything like that, and I always forget. But so I was late to the game, so I had like 5 seasons I could catch up on, and I loved it starting out, just the whole premise of it, and like the power dynamic you saw at the beginning of the show, and the tough choices that had to be made, and kind of the progression of the characters. Then you had Michonne, who came in later on, and she's basically a samurai, and it was super cool. And then it kind of went down for me, not for this reason, but it was shortly after there was a freaking tiger on the show. It was after the tiger. The tiger wasn't the cause, because I thought that was flippin' sweet, but it was after the tiger came on. I think it kind of went downhill, and I just lost the interest after that. It just kind of became mundane, I guess.
Well, at the start, they were developing the show pretty much parallel to how the comic books ran. And then naturally, I'm not upset that they changed and did different things from the comics. I'm not upset at that at all.
Sure.
I'm upset that instead of getting creative with it and being like, all right, let's take it in a different direction and make the show kind of stand on its own, instead of being creative with it, it became that formulaic, tune in next week just because we want the ratings.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really bummed me out.
Because it was such a good show. Like, it was different. It was one of those where generally there was some kind of action, and like, I'm one of those people who I don't feed into really any of them, but like, I love the conspiracy theories, and I love like survival stuff and what would happen if like a zombie apocalypse did happen. I don't believe anything like that will happen or anything, but I just love reading about those. So the show just grabbed me real quick, and then it's like you said, it just became, what's going to happen next week? And then next week it's literally nothing. Nothing happened. I'll tell you what, nothing. Grinds my gears.
Yeah, it drives me crazy when they do stuff like that.
Did you ever, speaking of the show, did you ever see the fan theory that was based in the same universe as Breaking Bad?
Yes, I did.
Now,
Breaking Bad, that's a show that is good all the way till the end. But yes, I did see your theory. That theory, you didn't come up with it, but
you don't know that.
That theory, I do know that.
Yeah, we'll jump into Breaking Bad. I think it deserves its own conversation, but I saw back in one of the first episodes where there was a bag of, it was blue meth that was on there, and that was kind of the whole grab of Breaking Bad. So I don't know if that was a plant or if that was some kind of causing the conversation to happen, but I think it is way more intriguing to think that universe happens in the same one as Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
But yeah, Breaking Bad, oh, my friend, that show literally made my freshman year of college. That was absolutely one of the greatest shows to ever be on TV. Hands down, no question about it.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was super good. We'll have to get into it on its own, because you're right, it does deserve its own bit of discussion.
Well, so I guess we've literally been around the who we are, our dogs, hopes and dreams, Breaking Bad meth. Well, you have anything else you want to discuss here in this?
We just hit an actual hour, so that seems like a pretty darn good place to end.
I know. I don't want to draw this out if it's not gonna. I just want to get the next ad. I'm going to be on here for every 10-minute mark. All right. Well, I guess it's customary. You have anything that you are on social media or anything like that?
Yeah, but I don't want people to harass me. So.
Well, we will have, obviously this is on a YouTube channel, so subscribe to that, and we have a Twitter that is the Sun Pod. It probably will not have hardly anything on it because we're still waiting for some some kind of logo to be created, but that'll be on there. And for the 2 people that ever listen to this, come interact with us.
And if you do want to follow on YouTube, I've done YouTube on the side for a good little bit. I've actually kind of let it die off. And once I started grad school, it died off. But because YouTube is so broken and the algorithm is so broken, I know it's annoying and everybody asks you to do it. But the likelihood of you staying up to date on uploads and stuff, you have to subscribe and click the notification bell. And even then, sometimes it might not even work. So you got to make sure you're liking it. So the algorithm is just broken. So if you want to stay up to date, I hate to ask for that stuff because it's so annoying. Everybody asks for like and subscribe and hit that bell. Hit that bell. But honestly, the algorithm is broken and you have to hit the bell if you want to know, basically. So
yeah, our whole point of this was to just do something fun that we had talked about all of our college career. I don't expect this to be our retirement, but yeah, follow on YouTube, follow the Twitter, and we'll always have the videos linked on there. And this will be a weekly podcast. Hopefully, this is the first episode, so hopefully we can get some caught up and made up, and we'll have them every single week at the same time. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate it. And be sure to come back and listen to us again if you thought we were funny. And if you didn't think we were funny, give us another chance. I'm sure I'll make you laugh at some point.
Yeah, listen, this was one of those where we just trying to get our footing here. We have some real good ones coming. Just little sneak peeks here. We had some teachers in school, professors who were memorable and life-changing, to say the very least. And we also have an entire storyline thought up of if in the first, or when was it, 2016?
The 2016 election.
Yeah, if in the 2016 election, if Hillary Clinton had won. And I know you're probably thinking, I don't want to hear a political podcast or anything. Oh, it's not political at all. Just imagine someone who's in the White House at night. They plant roots in the house and suck the life force out. and imagine riding a scooter in the hallways of the White House. Like this is the stuff that's coming in the future. So
it's most certainly comedic. It's not political. It is satire.
And it's like I said, whether we like the people, whether we don't, whether it's political, whether it's teachers, whether it's family and friends, we're equal opportunists. We make fun of everybody.
That's right.
Except ourselves. We don't like it when people make fun of us. So be nice. Well, Hunter, it's been good talking to you.
It's good been talking to you. I'm glad we got to do this.
Me too. We'll have to do it again sometime, maybe in a week.
That sounds good to me.
All right, thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thank you. We'll come at you again and tell you some more funny stuff.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.